relationship embarrassment is a very real thing, and I want to help you overcome that in a healthy way. The relationship did not just hurt you, it embarrassed the shit out of you. And you are embarrassed because now you can see things clearly. And you are wondering how in the hell you didn't see it sooner. That particular reaction, that shame spiral, because that's what it is actually more painful than the breakup itself. Because embarrassment after a bad relationship doesn't come from the other person. It comes from the collision between who you believed you were and what you tolerated. Your identity says, I'm a discerning person. I am emotionally intelligent, and I wouldn't accept crumbs. Yet your dating history says that is a lie. And that gap, that creates cognitive dissonance, a psychological discomfort when reality contradicts self-concept. And what happens in that moment is that your nervous system tries to resolve this shame by blaming you instead of contextualizing them or the relationship as a whole. So instead of saying I was manipulated, I was worn down, or I was operating from unmet needs or old wiring, you say things like I was stupid, I was desperate, I should have known better. But here's the truth. No healthy, regulated person wakes up on any day and says, let me voluntarily choose emotional confusion, chaos, and disrespect. No healthy, regulated person does that. People enter unhealthy relationships for a few reasons. It's either unresolved attachment patterns, you were lonely at a vulnerable time, it is a trauma bond, you were conditioned to overgive, or, and this happens a lot, you simply made potential synonymous with reality. None of it can be bent under stupidity. All of it is unhealed wiring that just met some brutal environments. That shame you feel is your nervous system trying to protect your identity by distancing from a version of you that feels unsafe to remember. But I also need you to remember that shame can never heal you. Shame will never heal you. It will always freeze you. It will always make you hide the story instead of integrating the lesson. It will always make you say, never again, instead of, now I understand. And that difference matters. Because never again is fear-based. Now I understand is power-based. 'Based. 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 Many times, the embarrassment hits harder in hindsight. Because when you are inside of a dynamic, you are operating with partial information. You're bonding, you're hoping, you're rationalizing. You're trying to regulate discomfort while staying attached simultaneously. But once that distance sets in and you make room for clarity, sometimes clarity feels brutal. You are no longer seeing the person through potential. You're seeing the pattern through pattern recognition. And then your brain goes, wait a minute, I accepted that? Yep. Because you did not have the data that you have now. Listen, growth always makes the past look worse. Not because you were worse, but because your standards got higher. The discomfort that you feel isn't evidence of failure. It is evidence of evolution. It is evidence of transformation. So instead of spiraling, isolating, or rewriting history to protect your ego, let's start doing things like stopping integrating your past with the wisdom that you have today. You cannot yell at a toddler for not knowing calculus. You didn't miss the red flags. You interpreted information through the nervous system that you had at the time. Growth is supposed to make old choices look unrecognizable. That's how you know it worked. Replace your shame with curiosity. Instead of counterproductive curiosity, instead of saying, how could I allow that? Ask yourself, what need was I trying to meet? Which pattern felt familiar at the time? What part of me was hoping? Because curiosity heals and shame immobilizes. Separate your behavior from your identity. You made choices that didn't protect you. That does not mean you are unworthy, naive, or broken. It means that your boundaries were underdeveloped, not your value. Extract the lesson without extracting your dignity. The goal should never be to punish your past self. The goal should always be to upgrade your future one. Get rid of everybody that would constantly and happily, willfully, joyfully get rid of everybody that brings up your past incessantly with no regard to your present day accomplishments. That wasn't in my notes, but it's in my spirit. Those people that remind you of who you were every time you see them deserves your absence. You don't need to relive the story. You need to integrate the signal. Stop romanticizing your resilience. You didn't stay because you were strong. You stayed because you were attached. You stayed because you were hopeful. You stayed because you were conditioned. You stayed because you were scared to lose connection. Call a thing, because that's human. That's not heroic. It's not shameful. That's human, and that's real. This embarrassment that you feel isn't a sign that you failed. It is a sign that you have outgrown the version of you who tolerated what you no longer would. And that's not cringe. That's graduation. You can never heal by pretending it didn't happen. You heal by understanding why it happened without turning yourself into the villain. The real glow up isn't never making mistakes. The real glow up is no longer needing to abandon yourself when you do. I love you so much, and I hope that this message resonated for you. Please consider saying and playing and subscribing to my vibe. Like the video, share it if you know someone that needs to hear it, and I will see you on the next upload. Goodbye.